Hello ladies and gents, I am Unused and welcome back to this Let's Play of Kenshi, playing with the Samurai, with myself Unused. And this is going to be quite a long episode because unfortunately I managed to lose all the voiceover recording. So this is going to be a complete post-commentary. And so I'm just having a look and noticed that a couple of our guys have actually received bounty for looting, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm not entirely sure where that was. I would check through the previous episode to try and identify that, but I can't exactly see the exact point at which we obtained that bounty, though it's going to run out in a few hours, so not too much of an issue. And if we do get stopped, I believe we can just pay it off or pay it off at double with any guards which do pull you over. Though no one seems to be particularly interested. Just having a quick look over the skills. We're doing well. They do need to be trained up a fair bit more though before we can really do any more with our faction. So now we're going to decide where to go. I'd like to head over towards the Fog Islands and towards Mongol there. And so we're going to work through towards the valley, identify a couple of the holy city areas in this region, and then work our way into the Foglands, into Mongol, because there are two people in Mongol I would like to get, and that is Beep and Crumble John, both of which will be added to our party of the 7 Samurai, bringing our total up to 5. But still I'm a little bit concerned by the bounty, though we haven't been picked up by anyone just yet, so not too much of an issue. And this stuff is now showing as stolen, not stolen by any particular group, so that's a bit odd. I wonder if it's because I have saved and loaded in between, but never mind. I'm going to see if I can actually now sell loot, though we are actually in a different location, aren't we? I can't remember where we picked up the loot. So let's just go to try and find. I'm trying to find the bartender. Like, nope, there's all the people, and here's the bartender just standing out in the middle of what looks like just another random table. But so, we can just sell our stuff to them with a 100% chance of fencing, which is good, not particularly great income, but we now have a decent enough amount of money. And that's going to be a very, very good choice because, well, it does mean we'll actually be able to do things. I'm not just having a look over the weapons and seeing would the hold saber be better for Shurijo instead of the katana, but actually no, so to keep with the katana blade at the moment, or the guardless katana, just because it's a pretty good weapon actually, but you know, could do with the money more. And so we'll sell the boots off, because boots are not very good to start with because they damage your athletics, and athletics really keep you alive in the early game when you can just basically outrun all enemy foes. So that's really what we're going to be doing to start with. So we're just going to be training our athletics in the Great Desert and moving towards the southwest. And also looting some of these little skimmers on the way out because we might as well. Though it's taking a bit of a beating, we move in and it's already dead before we get there because the city guards are pretty tough. Let's just move on towards the south. I am going to be able to do some cuts in this, even though with the post-commentary it's just going to be quite considerably harder than doing it when I was doing the live commentary, because the live commentary I actually put in audio cues, or there are audio cues which I can work from in order to edit more efficiently later. Though I'm still not quite convinced my editing and audio style for this particular series. It's an odd one, that's for sure. It is quite an odd way to edit the game. But there's actually just one thing I just want to check. Yeah, I'm just looking around because I'm just trying to see if there is any shinobi tower. That's what I was looking for. This is the other thing. I can't remember what I was doing, so I was just looking around randomly looking for things. So yeah, I'm looking for a shinobi tower because I want to try and join them. And when I can join them, I can also get those improved backpacks, because it's something else I would quite like. So yes, would like some backpacks because, yeah, if we can get backpacks we can carry more stuff, and also with backpacks lower encumbrance as well. So you can see here, like, oh yes, they're the backpacks there, or rather they're the animal backpacks and not the ones which I am actually after, which is just annoyance. But we can still do the animal claws, which are for their size, pretty good sale, particularly since we aren't getting very good weapons. They're, well, 90 cats each. And some of the weapons and things we're picking up are like, well, a couple of hundred, but weapons are huge. So, lots and lots of claws. Very, very nice way of getting a nice little bit of money. Well, we can purchase either of those shacks, though I'm not too sure if shack. I don't really want to be purchasing the shacks in the game. I want to, go and build up a little outpost somewhere, which is something I haven't decided yet. I think I'll wait till I've got the full 7 before we go out and build an outpost, though that might change. The last couple of people I'm looking for to add into these 7 are a little bit more tricky. Because I want to have a skeleton and also another shack. So I don't know where the skeleton unique recruits are. I know there are a few in the game. I think there's like 3 or 4 skeleton unique recruits, but it's just trying to figure out where they are. It's always a little bit more tricky to identify them. But now we're moving to the south. I'm just trying to keep everyone together without using the command to choose shadow speed. Because if you do shadow speed, it doesn't always train everyone up to the maximum value, though it makes more sense. I should probably use it, because the ones which are slow are going to be trained in athletics at more, and this is bizarre. So there is a big kraken here in the desert. I think this pretty much happened when I was doing it anyway, when I was doing the first time around on the live. I was just randomly talking, much like I am now, and then I noticed this gigantic stone squid kraken thing in the middle of the Great Desert, and why is it here? Is there any lore regarding it? I'm not sure if there is any lore regarding it. It is just an awesome feature just sitting here in the Great Desert. Yeah. Still, let's just move on south and towards that scar in the landscape. I think that's the skim sands. I think I can't really remember. And seeing if we can actually do anything about beating up some of these other animals. There are big groups of them though, and we aren't very good at taking on groups since, well, we have the attack slots mod on. Though even so, we can probably take on 1 or 2, but we just aren't that strong. So deciding, hang on, let's try and take out one of these little pups. Moving in and attack unprovoked. Let's go in, slow it down, and there we go. Let's wail on it with all our weapons and doing a good amount of damage. And yeah, in very short order, do kill it. We take a couple of little hits on our own end. We'd have plenty of medical supplies in order to cope with that. And there is a lot of meat on there, but the skimmer comes along before we can finish looting. And this is one thing which I am doing with this Let's Play. I am not pause looting, so if something does interrupt us while we're running around like just then, we will have to avoid it before we are able to continue looting. I don't want to pause the game and just loot things while it is paused. I'll observe things and see what it is, but if there's something coming towards us, I will only loot at that time. Still, we have plenty of people and plenty of speed to outrun the skimmer, since they are actually pretty slow. Most of the animals in the game are actually very slow, until you reach some of the more evil beak things and some of the elders. Because as the animals get older, or are actually older, they have a this is a percentage modifier to all of their stats, including speed. I noticed there was a nice blue book there. There's a research book, so it looks like there's an abandoned area. So let's move it into here and just go grab that. And I completely miss the guys sitting down by the fire. There was a whole group of them sitting by the fire, but the way they were just sitting nice and stationary, it looked like just piles of barrels and things, which is quite amusing that I just completely, utterly missed that. So move it in for the fight, but it's not going very well. And I'll do a single hit and then everyone just charges after us. So let's run. And Katayama is getting completely swamped. and try and do some dodging, and yeah, it is not good. There are only certain enemies you can dodge, and they have to be using big, slow weapons, whereas I think these farmers are using just sticks and like small clubs, which make it so it's very, very easy to get hit because they're fast swinging. And oh, see something to loot there, but again, not looting in the combat while we're being chased. You need to retreat away. And Shimada is doing pretty well. Shiroji is also doing well. It's just Katayama here, who is their latest addition. They are, well, they're slow for a couple of reasons. One, they have low athletics, and two, they have low strength. So they aren't able, so they're actually being slowed down by the amount of loot which other people are carrying basically fine. And so I'm now going to try and draw this group of bandits here towards the skimmers. And that works very nicely. Loads of those guys being attacked by the skimmers, and now it's just left over with 2 remaining, which is a brilliant time for us to just, well, do some fighting. So we can take on a couple, no problem, and one retreats, but then the skimmers come along as well, so we again retreat from them, because we definitely can't take on even one skimmer, let alone on a group like that. And skimmers are easily avoided since they are so slow. Being called skimmers is quite an odd thing. You'd kind of expect them to be fast, but there we go. We're just trying to retreat past them and doing a big loot, because I actually would like to loot these corpses and doing a couple of little sneaky things just to break the aggression. Just going into stealth mode and back out instantly, it barely slows you down. And it does break some of the line of sight, as you can see there. It broke the line of sight and just one turned away. There's a few little features which you can do like that in the game. It is quite interesting, but because it kind of makes sense. The enemy, if they are able to keep up with you, they basically never lose aggro. Whereas in most games, once they move a little way away from their initial spawn point, they will lose interest from you and then just return back to their spawning location. That isn't the case in this game, and it kind of gets ridiculous. You can basically kite things across half the map, which is really rather amusing, but also irritating. But what I decided to do is create some fires to cook our food, since we are hungry and we do have plenty of meat in order to cook. And people automatically put in the raw meat and turn it into dried meat in order to consume it. Which is a good thing there. And now I'm also going around and just looting some of the components. And well, those heart protectors are cheap. Well, they're very small, they are cheap, but they are going to give us enough initial money. Since we are horrifically poor at the moment, only a few thousand cats, and I really want to get to 10,000 cats in order to join the Shinobi's Thieves Guild. Since they are a really good thing to have. They have a free plastic surgeon. Admittedly, the plastic surgeon isn't very expensive anyway, but the biggest benefits are that there is a lot of places where they have towns with beds. I think there might even be camp beds, but that gives you a lot of places to rest and recuperate and recover your strength without having to carry sleeping bags around or returning to an outpost or paying for an inn. And yes, the inn's only, 150 cats, but it gets very expensive because if you put down someone who is in a recovery coma, once they are, you can actually put them in a bed. They will actually, when they wake up from the recovery coma, they will actually get out of the bed. So then to fully heal them, you have to put them back in again, so that increases it further. And also, when you have a large squad and you want everyone to heal up, so, you have 10 people or so, you want them all dressed in beds. That's a lot of cats. It's, 1,500 cats per time. And if half of them are unconscious, it's a couple of thousand cats. This adds up very, very quickly and means that it's just not really feasible to do that long term. But paying 10,000 for the Shinobis is great. The other big thing, and the most important thing with the Shinobis, is that they have a fence who will purchase basically anything from anyone apart from other Shinobi. If it's apart from it's been stolen from them, And so they'll purchase anything at 50%, which is awesome. And the other thing is that they will sell the thieves' backpacks at half price, because they sell and buy things at 50%. And those thieves' backpacks have a really, really, really low combat effect. They only affect the combat stat by -2, and not a percentage like everything else. And yes, they aren't the best backpacks in terms of size, they don't stack, but they reduce encumbrance and increase the actual amount you can carry. Since we are going to be playing with a small group of people, i.e. going to be 7 at maximum, having as much storage and capacity to carry things around is going to be very, very, very important for us in the long run. And that was good. I was able to just talk over the whole cooking thing, which previously, when I was doing this, I actually just cut that all out. I know I had cut that out, but I was able to actually talk about some of the other features in the game, which is a nice thing to be able to do. I think when you're actually playing the game, you don't always... It's difficult to talk about some of this stuff at the same time, since, yes, you're focusing on the game, what you're doing, and not really being able to discuss the future and things which you can do in the game. However, going to be able to do this for the next hour or so of this recording, yeah, I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to do that. I'll certainly try, but yeah, speaking for a quarter of an hour so far, pretty much non-stop, and yeah, I've been able to locate that book. But here we go. Now looking around, seeing if there's anything else we can take on from here. Going to stealth mode so we don't get attacked by that skimmer. And let's see, Katayama is so much slower because the stealth, when you have low stealth skill, it also does the percentage of your movement as well. And Katayama has such low stealth that she's affected hugely by stealth, whereas Shimada and Shiroji, their stealth skill's so high now, particularly Shimada. I don't think Shimada's actually slowed at all by going into sneak, which is really quite cool. Maybe like 1 or 2 miles per hour, but they run so quickly anyway, it really does not matter. But now, we're going to be heading towards the east. And, yeah, just going to make a shortcut here until we get somewhere a little bit more interesting. Ooh, another trader caravan. Quite a few little groups are going around here, so we'll just move towards that trader and see what they have for sale. Though if they're anything like the last trader caravan, they had no money, so they weren't particularly useful for us. Let's go get Shimada to go and have a chat with them, and here we go. Oh, and I accidentally clicked to go and knock them out. A really stupid thing to do, but yeah, something I have to be careful of. So, yep, they will sell us some animals. Again, I haven't decided if I do want to go for any animals in this playthrough, at least while we're gathering the 7 samurai. I think I might go for some animals later on when we have a actual base set up, and so we can transport trade goods quickly from our base to any particular town. Though it does depend a lot on what we're going to do with that little outpost there. So let's continue moving into this region here. We've entered Spine Canyon. I've spotted some torches. That looks like there might be a little bit of a outpost. Maybe there's someone we can speak to down here, and I think it might be cannibals, but no, it's just a load of lovely, lovely people who will try and murder us, but probably not murder and eat us like the cannibals. So make a wide berth of those and carry on heading to the southwest, straight through the Spine Canyon here. And it is a little bit, a thing called a cactus tower. So, yeah, cactus ruin over there. So let's move over to that and see if there's anything there we can do. Yeah, Shiroji is a bit slow at the moment, so they're going into stealth. So move along over here and towards that cactus, well, surrounded area. And this is the Skim Sands. So, yep, see a nice tower there. You could definitely surrounded by cacti. Who is here? Fortunately, this is owned by the Sand Bandits, which we currently have stolen loot from. Particularly Katayama looks almost like a sand bandit. I think it's like 60%, and they will not be happy by that. So we're going out there. We're going to just enter the Skim Sands and kind of retreat, avoiding the skimmers. Because yes, they will absolutely annihilate us. And yeah, so I'm now trying to utilise our other characters to draw the aggression away from from Katayama there. And it does work. We're able to pull the aggression off Katayama and move on through, and then it loses interest. So just jump everyone together and just heal up using our really quite good medic skills. And it's this point, decide, you know what, we should just shadow and move everyone as one group rather than trying to keep everyone separated, because essentially what happens is that the leader gets someone's attention, aggroes them, then they decide, oh, we can't go for those, and then they move on the rest of your group or your squad, and then they all get attacked, and someone like poor Katayama is too slow to really be able to avoid such a thing. I'm looking around and seeing these little piles of stones and wondering if any of them are going to be groups of bone dogs, and because I don't want to run into the middle of a group of bone dogs, since bone dogs attack fast, and yes, you can outrun them, but running into the middle of a camp of them, it can really be painful, and I think bone dogs do eat you. It's, I think, one of the animals which do eat your corpses, so not something you really want to be part of. Into this other area, which is also apparently called the Skim Sands. I don't know why, but apparently it is. I think what it is, it's the camera. I moved it forward into the new area and then back straight into the Skim Sands before the new label came up. So I don't know what this area is, but it looks quite interestingly and industrial. So there's all these big, spikes and pillars, and I am now getting melted by acid rain. So that is lightning. I thought it was, initially when I saw it, I thought it was just a lightning, and we are being melted by acid rain. So time to get as quickly as possible, because acid rain just reduces all of your, it just injures you completely slowly, and I don't believe it actually counts towards your toughness. I think it just reduces your hit points all over, which is kind of nasty. So moving towards this area here, which is a outpost. It is a Holy Nation outpost, a big military one. And this isn't a good thing, really, because we have a woman, a Scorchlander, and worst of all, we have a Shek. The Shek are possibly, I think they might be at war with the Holy Nation, or at least some of the Shek are. So, yeah, running military areas is kind of worrisome with Shek, because at every point I have a feeling one of them's just going to go, hang on, you're Shek, and run at me with all our arms, raised and things. And Holy Nation come in big squads, but they have lots of the Holy Chosen, but worst of all they have the Inquisitors, which are very, very high statted. I think they have 60s, 70s in most of their stats. So even very, very tough people will have difficulty against them. For the most part, it looks like we managed to avoid the Holy Nation there. I could have sold my stuff with them, but again, I didn't really want to stay too long in that area with our current party lineup. As soon as we get a male Greenlander, I'll be much happier going with that, because I can get them a copy of the Holy Flame, and can use that to basically buy my way into anywhere, saying, look, I am a Okranite, and everyone will be happy. This is interesting. We have some people we can try and beat up. We have some escaped servants. They are low stats. They're, a bit lower than us even. They have a slightly higher defense, but we have a better attack, and also, most importantly, we have armor. Some interesting things here is I'm seeing what's being said by Shishoji, and I was mentioning about all the characters when they are spawned, they have personalities, and it depends what they say when they come into other areas, which is quite cool. It's a very nice little feature. So I'm just moving up towards these guys, just wondering if they are going to be hostile towards us, and yes they are, so you know what, we'll go and attack them. 3 on 3. I avoid one attack there, avoid another attack, and just try and split them up a little bit so that we don't get any area effect attacks on each other. But here we go. This is a battle for the ages. Actual one of our first legitimate. I think this is the first legitimate battle. We have a one-on-one with a three-way battle. There's three of us versus three of them, and so we are doing quite well. Katayama is definitely going to suffer the most since they have the lowest skills and stats, and also probably the weakest armor out of everyone, but most importantly they have very low toughness, so they're going to go down sooner than our other two guys here. And there we go. Katayama is down. Shimada is just taking their one down, and then takes a wallop by the one which took down Katayama. Shoji is doing pretty well on their end, but not actually doing especially well. Shimada was one who did the best, but there we go. Shoji takes down theirs, and now it's a 2-on-1 on the final battle. Katayama just stands up to help try and raise her toughness as well, which is a great little thing there. And everyone just gets patched up to try and improve their skills, which is awesome. Katayama's there, and just seeing, oh, can I loot them? You know what? They have some pretty useless stuff. And like, you know what? I will take their weapons. They aren't worth much, but I can carry them. I can just put them on, and they're worth, 50 cats. So, might as well take them. Just that little bit of money to keep us going, because we are ridiculously poor at the moment. And I also noticed there are some animal skins in this area. So, you know what, let's just rearrange your inventory and carry all this stuff as well. Since we do have the space, it's just that, we have to rearrange things. So I get on that right away. There we go, all of our inventories are basically filled up with food, animal skins, and weapons. So we're now heading towards the valley, the Okranite Valley, which is a fantastic area. And very, very lush green. It's one of the lushest green areas in the entire game. Though some of the coasts probably are fairly close. But they kind of, well, they're filled with nasty things like giant crabs and leviathans and nasty beak things and all sorts of stuff. So we're going to just travelling along this road here towards some of the Holy Nation land. Again, probably not a particularly good place to think about it, because we're here like mercenaries. We're probably going to be happy with the mercenaries. We just need to keep an eye out and make sure we don't run into anything especially evil or powerful. So now looking around, seeing if there's anything we can really utilise. And there is a holy farm. So we're going to head over that, because holy farms do have traders. They are a pretty good place to purchase food, which is important because, well, it's more raw food you can purchase from them, which is important because you need raw food in order to build farms. You can't just build a farm, you have to plant it essentially. So yeah, we have to go over here and try to find the route. It's your main area. So let's just jump on in here and have a chat with this trader here. So yes, I'd like to trade your supplies, and yeah, what do we have? We have some basic stuff, so they have enough money, so we'll just sell all of our ill-gotten gains to this fellow here. Also selling some of the bandages, because we really don't need so many sets of bandages. I think 1 or 2 bandages per person is more than enough. I'm actually keeping a couple at the moment, since we are taking some hits, but there we go. Sold a lot of this stuff and got a nice number of cats there. So we're in a good state. I think we are in a good state in order to carry on forwards with the amount of cats we have. Now we have the money. Let us head on through the valley and see if there's any. Well, let's go and find a couple of the Holy Nation cities in this area. Maybe mark them on the map, because our primary goal is to head towards Mongrel. But what I did notice, here are some small groups of river raptors. River raptors are very, very weak enemies, particularly in the pup state, but even in the adult state, they are pretty weak. So this small group here I would like to take them on, because they are scavengers, so I don't think they'll attack anyone who's unconscious. But they're going to be a good little bit of training to try and actually get some training up. So some strength, toughness, dexterity, all that sort of thing. We can just start training up and getting our skills up without, doing the whole thing of just going down unconscious. Or the most common sort of thing which is recommended to players in this game is to basically just sit outside town and mine copper for ages to get yourself tons and tons of money. And yes, it works, but I find that dull. I much prefer to go out and do things in the game. And one of those things is, well, you get a small squad. You do have to do some form of training. What we did lots of athletics training and toughness training to start with in the slave pens. So you do have to do training somehow, and that was the way we did it. And I found that was quite interesting because I didn't really go too much on the training. I was always trying to do the escaping. Definitely not lots and lots of ways to do this, but it's important that you have fun while doing it. You don't just grind through things. Again, navigating this area and being very, very careful of where we're going. Found Beacon Hill, which is quite neat. And so I'm deciding, should we go up there? And I think, you know what, it might be a decent way to go. Let's just head on up through this area here. Again, always keeping an eye out for predominantly because they are around here. And yeah, you can meet up a couple of them, and bone dogs, because they attack so fast, they can really, really injure you. I'm just going to skip over this bit because this bridge took so long to navigate. It kept on reloading it, so I'm just going to pause it because it keeps loading and unloading as I move the camera around. Very irritating. There we go, we got across the bridge. Something about the area, the chunk loading is really irritating. It just kept on loading chunks one after the other. Or there and back again. It was really irritating. Took a long time just to load to cross that bridge. Had to sort of wiggle my way past it. And there's a skeleton there. Again, just sitting in the middle of Holy Nation territory. They are in Wend, but it's bizarre. The Holy Nation supposedly absolutely hates skeletons and will attack on sight any skeletons, but they really don't seem to do too much about it. So yeah, it's interesting. Let's move down towards this Holy Nation land. And I'm thinking, maybe we should take on more river raptors. At the same time, we are fairly injured, so let's just make our way into this city, because I would quite like to purchase some backpacks. I'm a bit worried by that guard saying, identify yourself, or that sort of thing. Like, stay where you are. The thing is, they aren't moving. They aren't coming down. I thought, hang on, are you going to come down? Basically, what they want to do, they want to check to see if you've got a Book of the Holy Flame. And if you haven't got one, they'll give you one initially, but if you don't, sometimes if you don't have one, they'll just attack you. So, and particularly, I'm a bit worried about that with their group, because we don't have a male we have a male Scorchlander, but not a male Greenlander. It's the male Greenlanders which are the ones which make up the Holy Nation, really. Just observing around, seeing if there's anything in particular you want. Again, looking for one of those Shinobi towers. Can't see one, but what I do spot is a nice place to go and rest and sell some of our loot, which admittedly we don't have much loot, but if there's anyone in this bar as well which want to hire. There's one unique recruits. There is Bard and Doc here, which are both, I believe, unique. The Bard is one who sings, but I kind of want to get Crumplejohn. I did toss up a little bit deciding if I want to go for Bard or Crumplejohn, but in the end I decided, you know what, I'm just going to stay with my original plan of going to Mongrel, going and grabbing Beep and Crumplejohn, because yes, Bard is interesting, he does sing a little bit. I just want to essentially have someone who's good with heavy weapons like Crumplejohn, and the other thing is they are free. And at this point in the time, I kind of want to have people who are free rather than hiring anyone for cats, because we need to be able to do that. And also, they are lower level, so we'd have So in order to get to the Fog Islands and through the Fog Islands, you need to be quick, otherwise you get run down by the Fogmen. And it just, overall, it just seemed a much better idea to actually go for Crumblejohn and Beep instead of a new hire. Without the way, I decided, you know what, let's just leave this town and head on out. Because we have some places to be, i.e. Mongrel. Let's move on out and just see roughly how we're doing. And we have food, we have some stuff, and actually, yeah, we're doing alright. Of course, I forgot to sell my loot, so let's just head on straight back in and actually go sell our stuff in this place. Because, yeah, I should be able to sell it and just get some bits here and there. Also missed out the adventurers, so there is someone who sells backpacks over here. So let's just run over here and then purchase some of the backpacks. So I kind of want a stackable backpack, at least so we are able to carry some stuff. Particularly put that on Katayama because they have low encumbrance, and stackable backpacks are pretty good. They do affect your combat skill quite a bit. It's percentage wise, which is not really good, so you don't really want your combat people. But as you can see, it's a stackable backpack, so it does mean it is really rather useful. Yeah, so I decided, you know what, let's get this stackable backpack, because it will be, we can put all the food and stuff in, because when you have food in a backpack, it can be shared between members of the squad, so they don't have to carry their own stuff. As well, I think, you know what, maybe I should get some of these other ones as well, because all our people could do with carrying more stuff, so then we can just loot and take on a lot more things, which would be great. One thing I do kind of forget to notice is the fact that all of these backpacks minus your combat skills by a integer value and a percentage. I misread it, so I quite happily go and get the the backpack for Katayama here, which is good. I can put all the meat and stuff in, which I do so. Then the really dumb thing is I decided to get a couple of these really cheap backpacks. They are cheap because they don't carry that much, and they do affect your combat skills. But I say, oh look, a percentage reduction, and I missed the integer value. So really dumb move on my part, particularly with our people who are so low on combat stats at the moment. This is a really big problem. So yeah, don't do this. If you're slightly better at combat, or if they're not going to be going into combat, you can do this. Or what you do is you keep them with the backpack, and then you take the backpack off when they go into combat. I do neither of these things, so yeah. Those mistakes made, we head on down and out. So we have our people with their nice little backpacks on now, and they do actually look like they, are a party which could do some work, rather than when you don't have any equipment and gear like that. I think it looks a little bit silly. So we're going to head on down and see where we go. And I would like to get the thieves backpacks for all of our combat people, but that's going to cost us. There we go. Just kind of again pointing out that we have all our stuff in backpacks and reducing the encumbrance of our people. I kind of forget though that Katayama has no strength, so although I'm putting all the stuff in the backpack, it's still affecting her strength, well, her encumbrance quite a bit, because I've put more, she's carrying more, so although it's not as heavy, she's carrying more of it. So yeah, let's head on down the main road and towards the Foglands. Oh, we now enter Oakland's Gulf. And again, just looking around, just making sure we aren't running into any nasty groups and nasty, well, anything. At any point, you could get jumped by, a massive group of bandits, slavers, holy nation. But the main thing I'm looking for is the bone dogs. Go hunting the greenery area, making absolutely fantastic farmland. So if you did want to go for a base, this area is really good for vegetable growing. It's one of the few places you can do vegetables other than some of the much more dangerous coasts. And vegetables are one of the few things which you can grow early on without research. So you can grow. It's one of the few. Yeah, I think it's the only one. You have all the vegetable farms, but nothing else. The one we build in Holy Nation territory is another matter. We might decide to, but it's probably a bad idea since we are kind of aiming to have a skeleton, and the Holy Nation hate skeletons. Definitely for now we'll keep with the very nomadic base style. In fact, there is some mods out there which allow you to build actual nomad bases, so you, rather than building an outpost, you just always build a campsite, but you can have lots and lots of different stuff there. So I might consider that, though at the same time, just by building those campsites you never get raids, and raids is something I want to have to deal with. So we will build an outpost. I have a couple of places in mind for more later game outposts. There's some really good locations, but they're generally good because you don't get attacked, which again, I kind of want my outpost to be attacked. Here we go. Notice the bone dog on its own. We're in good health, and this is a single bone dog. So I decided, you know what, let's actually try and attack it. We're probably strong enough to take this on, and yes, it will hit hard, but if we do take a lot of damage, we can just retreat. And there's also 3 of us. We have the 2-time attack slots mod on, and there we go, we're doing good damage against this dog, though it managed to bite us in the head, and it's down. So there we go. Took a nasty hit, but we're healing it back up. We have plenty of bandages still. Probably less than we did have before, but you know what, let's just grab all the loot from the bone dog, and I accidentally drop it all on the floor like an idiot. So yeah, I do that several times. I press the wrong button and just chuck it all on the floor. It works though. But the important thing is, if you're doing any animals like that, or quite a few things which have things like that, when you loot them, they are instantly killed. You can't kill things like humans or anything. Yeah, what is that? You can't kill any humans unless without a mod. You have to basically wait for them to stand back up and smack them down again. There's no way to finish anyone off, which in one hand is a bit weird because you can't like stab them in the back or anything to finish them off when they're down. The other thing, it makes a lot of sense because when you have high sneak and you have the assassination skill, and all the assassination skill does is knock someone out, the reason for that is that if you had it where you could instantly kill people, the sneak skill becomes horrifically overpowered and you can just wipe out entire cities, because maxed sneak is hilarious. You can basically run into people, push them around, and they don't notice you. It's amusing, but ooh, here we go, take out another bone dog though. One of my guys did take down, poor Shmada. But Katayama and Shiroji is taking some really big hits, but is able to avoid the worst of it. Katayama there in the back, and this is the point I realise that, hang on, maybe the attack bonus on those backpacks is worse than I thought. It is, but I hadn't quite internalised it at this point while playing. So let's just we heal everyone up, and Shmada is currently down in a coma. So I'm thinking, oh, you know what, Shoji should be able to pick them up and have no problem. Or I could get Katayama to carry them, and then we can do some strength training as well. So yes, we run slower, but we now have strength training. And again, I just dump everything on the floor like an idiot. But we now have a good amount of food, have some animal skins, and a load of bone dog teeth. Here we go, for the strength training. So carry on heading towards the actual Foglands. Well, not quite the Foglands. I want to discover one of the other Holy Nation cities first of all. I know it's down here somewhere in the south, somewhere. So I'm just trying to locate it, so we have it on the map. So at this point I noticed that the backpacks have an integer associated with them as well, and not just a percentage. So I'm like, oh, if we had that, we would probably not have lost Shimada in that battle. Whoops. Because it didn't become immediately obvious how horrific those backpacks are for your combat to start with. But yeah. So I decided immediately, you know what, let's just go to the next city and sell these backpacks. So we're doing a bit better. discovering military bases going all the way around here, and again, I don't really want to be training with them because the Holy Nation really do not like our party makeup. Yeah, actually, they're never going to like our party makeup because I think my prospective plan only has a single male Greenlander in it. Yeah. Still, don't care too much about that. We're going to be playing mostly in nomadic style, and there we go. We have identified where that next is. So let's move on down towards Stack there. There is Stack. Going on down, it's quite a good plane here to draw things in and fight with the guards. So it's a good place. We can really get some good training stats up here. There's quite a few types of bandits and things, like starving bandits, stuff which roam the area, and they're going, "Oh, we don't like you." So like, hang on, let's just put Shamada down, because if we're gonna have to run, we're gonna have to run quick. So that's why I'm getting everyone on their feet. Yeah, the blessings to you, blessings, that's fine. They decided not to hate us upon entry this time. Going around seeing if there's anything you want to do. You can see we can actually purchase one of those buildings and do research from it. So it's a potential. Again, I want to build a little outpost rather than purchase anything in towns. But for more nomadic style, buying stuff in towns would probably make more sense. I just want to notice that people don't seem to be eating from the backpack properly. That they do, but they normally, without that, they normally eat it once you go below 250. I think when it's in the backpack, it's a little bit lower. It's about 200 or something, but they will eat and stop themselves from starving. So going through all the option menus and just checking everything isn't really needed, because they do eat eventually. That what I was looking for is in AI under the squad tab. So they do share food, so I'm just not really paying attention. With all that discussed out of the way, I just decided to do the shift control F11 thing just to make sure all the data was okay. Some of it wasn't, but I just, again, whenever you start seeing bugs, it's an important thing just to do that. And this guy, you know, I decided, you know what, let's just sell these backpacks. They're more trouble than they're worth because they aren't that good. But might as well sell some of the other stuff. And weird thing is, these skins count as stolen, which is bizarre. It's like, what? I've stolen it off a dead animal? What? Still, have a 100% fencing chance, which is neat, but yeah, stolen. Unless the bone dogs belong to someone. That is another thing, but I know them, they're wild, so yeah. But yeah, so I'm just going to decide to sell these backpacks because of that integer problem. So just sell the backpacks, get rid of them. We'll keep Ketiyama with their stacking backpack because that is useful. And I'll probably keep all my archers having the stacking backpacks, and our combat guys, our melee ones, being armed with the normal thieves ones. Because well, the small thieves one actually doesn't have any negative to the combat stat at all. The standard one has -2 integer and no percentage negative, so I'll be having that on basically everyone though, because again, we need the storage capacity, and I don't want to be going around with like a load of bulls or guru for our combat squad. I want to try and keep it just as the 7 samurai. Let's head towards the Fog Islands once more. Also, what I decided to do is pick up some people. So Ketiyama again picks up Shiroji to get those strength trainings up, because once the strength training goes up, it really does help with the encumbrance. So you can see it as it's running along, the encumbrance percentage is just dropping very slowly, because it's 50% for a corpse. And yes, I want to be able to outrun the Fogmen. And the Fogmen run fast because they are hivers. And hivers generally just have a improvement to speed. Partly because they have no shoes, so they can't wear the sandals, so they don't get the speed bonus from that. But yes, I think they can run 2 or 3 miles per hour faster than everyone else, much like the Shek run a little bit slower. So, yeah. Though, we're going and exploring, and there's still more masses of the ancient world just smashed to pieces. It's really quite cool. I do like the landscape of Kenshi. Something really bad happened here, but you're really not sure what. And you find fragments of lore all over the place, particularly when you talk to some of the skeletons, because some of the skeletons, well, they're basically, I think they were built by the ancients. And yeah, they know what happened, but they kind of don't tell you. And you kind of get a few little bits here and there, but it's interesting. Hopefully I'll actually be able to find some of that lore in this playthrough and be able to have a good discussion, see what's going on, or just see the fragments of lore. Now I'm deciding, you know what, let's just get everyone ready, because we're going to be going into the Foglands now. Let's put down Shiroshi. We may need to fight, though at the same time, this is a bad idea, because the Fogmen will eat you. They capture you and go and eat you, they tie you up. But because of that, they don't just chomp on you straight away. They capture you and take you away. And that's good, because we have two incredibly stealthy, sneaky people in Shimada and Shiroshi. So if they are captured, they can basically break out of those bonds by themselves, the shackles, and then run. And they can do that. Katayama does not have a, well, benefits, but we do have a couple of other people who can try and rescue her if need be. So that is something we can do. Hopefully I won't have to, but it is something we can do if need be. But now, we're entering properly into the Foglands themselves. And yeah, it is foggy. You can't see very far, you can't see anything. And I believe there are patches of poisonous clouds in here with the Reactive World mod. But by default, I don't think there is any poisonous gas, but I think with the Reactive World you actually do get poisonous gas clouds, which is quite cool. And here is a small group of Fogmen. You can see them running around, and I realise, they're fast. They're as fast as us. And I know the princes are faster. Yeah, not good, but we can deal with it. We just have to keep on running, and here come the group of Fogmen. They have found us, they're running after us, and for the most part they are catching up with us. Not good. I'm pausing just to try and navigate my way around and ensuring a good pathing, because any pathing issues which we get, the Fogmen will capitalise on. So that is terrible. I'm thinking, can I reduce my encumbrance any further? Can I speed us up? I'm looking with weapons, can we fight them off? The answer is no. There are too many of them. We aren't strong enough. We cannot fight the Fogmen in our current state. We have the weapons for it. We have good high cutting weapons. Fogmen have no armour, so they are very, very prone to cutting attacks, which just, well, lop limbs off really easily, because again, hivers are weak. They have low stats. They have 75 lots on their limbs compared to humans, 100, and check 125. I do like the fact that you can actually mine these items as well. So you can mine the old engine for copper and the metal plates for iron, so it's quite cool. I'm also realising I don't remember mongrels being there. I thought it was more in the middle of the Foglands, so not towards the north where we're heading. I was thinking, it's there, isn't it? Isn't that where mongrel is? So yeah, I'm just deciding how's the best path to get towards the middle of the Foglands. And apparently our people can just happily run up the sides of sheer cliffs. Nice. We need some more meat. That's good, because it will keep our inventory strong and our limbs nice and plump for the Fogmen to eat later. Don't really want that to be the case, but there we go. And, ooh, what is this construction? So this is the path up to the north, so it looks like some sort of big mining operation, either new or old. And I'm just trying to see what is in this area. And there are massive robot limbs in this area. There's like a graveyard of giant mecha or something. Nice. Yeah, that's quite awesome. Again, something from the world of the ancients was there. It's just is amazing. We'll explore it at some point when we actually have the combat squad to deal with the Fogmen. Because I want to fight off the Fogmen rather than just always run away from them, but we are not at that point at the moment. And we're coming down here into this pit, and I notice there's a huge encampment of Fogmen. Just there. Right about there. Can we pass them? Maybe. Let's just leg it. Let's see if we can get past these Fogmen without dying. Again, we're pretty stealthy, so we can, if need be, we can run. And so I do stealth. Trying to do that stealth trick again, which I used on the skimmers earlier, to just try and break aggro as soon as we get attacked. So it's a trick, something you do need to keep an eye on, because like, so you're running around now out of the line of sight, and just it's also a good thing because you can use it to see if you're still aggroed. Admittedly, you could just look at the portraits and see if they're flashing or anything. So, very quick way to see if there's anyone chasing you. You just quickly double press that, and you'll be able to see if anyone still spots you, because if it's blue, they don't see you. And now the game is loading and chugging, and yeah, it's just heading towards something taking long, so which I hope is Mongrel. There we go, we have actually found where Mongrel is, and so now we can actually head towards it. Here we go, can actually start seeing some of the civilization and the entrance to the door here. And that is good, because we can just head over here now. So this is again something we can mine just right out the front gate of Mongrel. And it's at this point that the game crashed. The game crashed actually a couple of times, which was really annoying, but here we go. We did actually manage to come back into the game, and I pretty much identified it to be a mod conflict between the Reactive World and the Adventurers Guild. So I've actually just removed the Adventurers Guild and re-imported the game. It could be the mod load order. I might be able to actually still keeping both running, but for now I am just removed the Adventurers Guild mod because it's useful, but it's really only useful when you have an outpost, whereas the Reactive World mod has effects throughout the game, basically as you kill and wipe out stuff. Carry on running back over to Mongrel again, chugging through these loading screens, and we're going to have to try and avoid our way past all of these lovely Fogmen again. We can do it, let's just hopefully we'll actually manage to not crash this time, which it doesn't crash. Spoiler warning, it doesn't crash, we fixed the issue. So, I also do make a safety save at this point in order to do, which unfortunately is the reason why I'm having to do this recovery, because I saved over things. Here we go. We are now entering Mongrel. Excellent. Several important things here. 1, they have a Shinobi Thieves Guild Tower. 2, there is Beep. And 3, there is Crumble John. All of which we want. So, now it's the task of trying to find Beep. Beep is actually one of the easiest people to come along to, because he will actively seek you out and find you to be recruited, which is cool. There's not many other characters that do that. There's quite a few free ones, but Beep actively searches for you, which is kind of cool. And there he is, Beep. And he spotted us, so he runs over towards us, going beep, beep, and there's also some crazy person. Yeah. Hello, Beep. There he is in all his glory. Beep. Hello, Beep. How did you know my name? Because you kind of ran up to me and said Beep. Oh, some of these responses, they're amazing. It's like, yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, I am. I am a genius. I love it. I just love these responses. They're so fun. Yep, let's go for that. She's, speaking. I actually can't read this very clearly because in the playback I'm seeing this little tiny thing, so unfortunately you're going to have to read it yourself. I can't really read it back very clearly, so sorry about that. But yes, we are recruiting Beep, and we are being glorious at the same time of it because we are the best, and Beep obviously knows that as the 7 Samurai we are certainly going to lead him to victory, though he is no longer going to be called Beep. As soon as possible we're going to find a plastic surgeon and rename him to Hayashida. And Beep is armed with nothing, so sorry Beep, you can't wear boots either, so... But for his replacement that you do move quicker, which is going to be why you're going to be one of our crossbow users. So despite you wanting to be really tough and kill people and beat people up with swords, you're going to be using a crossbow. Sorry. But as I already mentioned, all of our crossbow people are actually going to be cross-trained quite heavily with weapons. So they'll use crossbows initially, probably to get a few 2-3 shots off, then run in with the swords to just help out our melee people. And the majority of fights will be performed in melee, with the crossbows just providing an initial barrage of shots and also taking out some of the weaker targets or unarmed targets in a group. Particularly say if you're like facing a load of cannibals or something, you have to just shoot people and kill them with that. So we're now looking for Crumble John, who is going to be sitting in a corner, and he's great to recruit. You basically annoy him until he just joins up. He keeps saying really unpleasant things like, why are you old? Why are you crippled? Yes, I will join your squad. There are some other people in this place where we could try and hire, but again, we don't really want to just hire generic people. We want to try and get the unique ones, get some of those extra unique dialogues around, and also, importantly, they're free. Most of them are free or cheaper, or either they're more expensive, they have extra skills, whereas just the raw random recruits, they only have 1 in all stats. Much like Beep actually, but Beep was free, so excellent. Thank you for that Beep. I find the last bars, and here is one. This one I don't think I've been into yet, so let's run in and have a look. There is Crumble John, looking bizarre in the corner because his posture is bizarre. It's set like to an extreme. So it's like, yep. So it's like, yeah, he's just scrawny, crumpled in the thing. It's like, yes, join my squad. Or like, what are you? I was like, who are you? Like, why are you so old? Why are you so mangled? Again, yes, just like irritate him into joining you. Like, no, go away. Yeah. Just keep on clicking buttons and then eventually just say, join my squad. And he goes, fine, I'll join your stupid squad. And look at that, that is, yeah, he's beautiful. And we're also going to change what he looks like as well because, yeah, we're just going to have our own unique group of 7 Samurai, apart from Beep, because I obviously can't really change look that too much. Yes, so just observing skills, Beep isn't too good. Crumble John actually has some good stats all the way around, so he is pretty good. He can't really wield that fragment axe at maximum strength because it is so ridiculously heavy, but he can still wield it, and he can wield it at a decent rate, and he is going to be our heavy weapons user, though I'll need to try and find him a plank as soon as possible, because planks are a little bit lighter weight. But you could also go for a falling sun, though I think falling suns are quite a bit more expensive. So here is our new group of people, and we've now run over to the Shinobi Thieves Guild. So yes, we would like to join the Shinobi Thieves Guild, and say, yes, what do you get for that money? Yes. You know, like, can I try and get it? Nope, it's cheap. 10,000 purchased, we have done that. And here we go. Now we can actually start looking for that plastic surgeon. He's generally around here, and, you know, where are they? Also, we just run everyone up here because there are these training dummies. So I'm going to actually, we can't train you very high, but I'm just going to go have Beep train on one to get his attack skill up to around about, well, 5, and might as well get some of the other people's trained up in lockpicking and or assassination. Important thing is getting Beep up to a mediocre amount of attack. And there is the plastic surgeon. So let's go send John over to the plastic surgeon. There we go. Here is a new soldier. This is Kyuzo. So he's looking a lot more tough. He's looking, well, not so broken. Still giving him a bit of a slouch, but it's more of a sideways one than rather a completely crippled, mangled back. And this is because, well, they're going to be using a massive plank, and though Crumble John is quite amusing with his essentially broken back wielding this huge sword, I thought it'd make more sense to actually have someone who looks like they could wield it properly. I'm also now going to have to send Beep over to the plastic surgeon just to rename them. But there's not really anything you can do to change a little bit on the hivers, but come on. Beep is kind of perfect, but you are no longer named Beep because you're going to need to be one of the 7 samurai. So you are now Hayashida. So we now are up to 5 of the 7. So we're doing very well. We need to get Okamoto, who's going to be probably Kang from Shank Territory, and Kukishio, who's going to be a skeleton. I'm not too sure where the skeletons you get are. I know there were a few, and they're definitely going to do this quite well. So we'll do that, and just go get all our people back into this training regime here. So we can now get all the people now retraining. So Hayashida, now I'd like to go back into just training your attack skill, and all that other people just getting a little bit more basic stats. But well, I'll actually do that between episodes, so thank you very much for watching this episode of Kenshi with myself and Adifin. If you did enjoy the episode, please leave a like and or comment below, as it is always great to hear from you lot. Otherwise, that's it from me for now, and I shall see you next time. But until then, I'm out. Goodbye.